Get your shit together, Zuckerberger.
Bitch.
Welcome to Thought Cops, the only podcast where every week we talk about what's outraging the internet, and then let you be the judge, the jury, and the executioner in the court of public opinion. Coming to you live from precinct number 64 in Neo, Chicago, I'm Officer Kevin, and with me is Officer Grant.
Hey, that's me.
Hi, Grant. How you doing?
Hey, I'm doing good. How are you, Kevin?
I'm not Kevin. I'm Lars.
Lars!
Good job, boys. Great work.
We got him.
Welcome to
Thanks,
Thought
Lars.
Cops.
Yeah, welcome to Thought Cops, guys.
Thank you.
Hey, it's great to be here. Let me just say that. Hey, and if you don't mind me doing this, I want to give a quick thank you to the guest from last week. I'm just a big fan of the show. Last episode, you guys had on Alex Pervolos, a local Chicago comic, I believe, as well as his cousin, Marty. You can find him at Extremely Peace on Twitter. Check it out. Listen to that episode. But let's cut the bullshit. This is our fucking show. This is Neo Chicago, baby, and we run this bitch. A little aggressive, a little more aggressive than I intended, but
Just like the Chicago Police Department.
on that note, we got some new guests to the show. We have Lars and Joe from the first podcast. That's right, the very first podcast of all time. What's up, guys?
Hey, thanks for joining us. My name's Joe. I'm one of the co-hosts on the first podcast. And there's also Lars.
Yes.
He's one of the podcast hosts as well.
He's normally a little more responsive than that on the show.
Yes.
Normally, yeah. Sometimes Lars sort of takes like a backseat driver to the show, and then I kind of step to the forefront. Sometimes it's the other way around.
It's more satisfying that way. I get to yell at him when he makes mistakes, basically.
And I do make a lot of mistakes, and sometimes I do need to be taken down a peg or two. So
No, but I'm Lars from the first podcast, and you should be listening to our show when you're not listening to this one. But for now, we're going to play some Thought Cops.
And to give our listeners just a taste of the show, could you give us a brief synopsis of what the first podcast is all about?
You know, we could.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, it's how would you describe it? It's kind of like, you know, when like you're stuck in traffic and
Love it.
you feel like there's something at home that you just kind of forgot about, like you left for work, and it's like you're not sure if you turned off all the knobs on the stove, or if, you know, did you lock the door?
is the blender still running? Is
Yeah,
the
you know that
vacuum
anxiety,
on?
that like that visceral kind of human emotion that happens at that point.
Is the garden hose still running? Am I going to come home to a puddle?
That's basically the premise of the show. Just that feeling, you know.
Every
Feeling
week
that
something
you just
goes wrong.
You forgot something.
Yeah, exactly.
There's always something
every
going
week
wrong.
Something does go wrong on the show. It's just kind of, it's like just an existential crisis all at once every single week. Well, it's twice a week, but yeah. So that's kind of it. Yeah.
And like it's an institution. It is the first podcast of all time. Was it founded in 1976? Is that right?
Wrong. It's
1972.
Oh, mom.
Yeah.
I shouldn't. No disrespect, of course.
By the way, I know we're being
don't take
super weird and like strange right now, but yeah, it's a talk show. It has really cool people on it,
And we just recorded an episode with you guys right before this, so this is part 2 of a double header, I guess you could call it.
yeah, I was
The
going to say that before
second
you
podcast.
interrupted me. Thank you.
If you would.
We do
But
a lot
yes.
of that here.
The beginning of this episode of Thought Cops is kind of like that co-op game where you're the runner guy and you're pressing Q, W, O, and P to sort of control.
Oh, that's our main inspiration for the first podcast.
Gotcha.
Quap.
Yeah.
Okay, we actually knew Quap in real life.
We did interview Quap on one of the episodes, so that's correct. Yeah.
Is he as cool as he is on the computer?
Well, yeah, which means he's not very cool. But yeah,
he's like fumbling and struggling to kind of get by.
Aren't we all?
It's really not a good look.
Jeez.
Sorry, what?
Aren't we all?
Yeah.
Yeah. No need to single each other out.
This just got a little too real for me.
Well, then why did you have us on?
Because sometimes you
Why
got
don't you just slurp that louder into the microphone?
people love the slurps. They call in and they tell me on my private line how much they love the slurps.
Oh, you're gonna like my voicemail then.
The Kevin extension line.
Yeah. It's my personal cell phone. You can call me any time of the night.
I left a voicemail too for you guys, but
I like how you specifically said any time of night. Like you're only wanting those kind of calls.
My voicemail was a mistake, so you don't want to use it.
Oh, please play it.
We're still
Which, by the way, if you have your own voicemail, 312-788-7361. But before we get to that, why don't we get to some show news? We got a live show we're going to do coming up August 22nd in Chicago, along with Asterios Kokkinos, Sriracha, and Mumkey Jones.
Oh, yeah, at the Crowd Theater. Tickets are now on sale.
I'm going to put the link up in the on the website, thoughtcopspodcast.com.
And if you go to the
this, if you're in Chicago, get on that.
Yeah. Or, hey, if you don't live in Chicago, drive the fuck over here.
Yeah, this is important. It's the end. They're ending the Boomer versus Zoomer podcast. So this is going to be...
ending it?
Yeah, they're ending it. It's their farewell tour.
Oh. Did they hate fun, or what? I don't understand why.
I don't know. I don't know why.
Oh, okay.
I guess you got to come to the show.
Like 80 podcasts, so I'm sure he's probably trying to pare that down a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, the Crowd Theater. Check it out. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Sounds like it.
Sounds like a nice theater.
Yeah, I would love to go. I probably can't, but yeah.
I bet they have velvet seats.
I bet they do.
Probably.
I bet they have a chandelier or two.
I don't know.
At least 2 chandeliers is my prediction for that.
If there's less than 2, let's just say we riot.
Exactly.
I bet there's a big red curtain.
Also,
and I hope that there's
a loud guy there to yell the punchlines out.
Oh, that's expected.
Yeah,
because this is our good friend Asterios Kokkinos. But let's move on. We got a little old segment here we haven't touched on in a while.
Bringing this back. Beef
before potatoes. Before we get to the main segment of the show here, we want to talk about some bullshit.
Yeah. Let me set this up because there's some backstory to this. If you listen to our previous episode, that episode is an entire week late because we recorded 109 and 110 within a couple days of each other because of timing issues. And so we recorded 110. It was still March, correct?
Yes, it was.
It was still March. It wasn't April yet, right? It was like March 20 something.
March 20.
Yeah, March 20, probably. And we talked about a story that didn't happen in real life. Do you care to elaborate on that?
I want to say that we weren't the only ones bamboozled by this. Because typically April Fool's pranks take place on April 1st. Am I wrong, guys?
Yes.
No, you're wrong. You're not wrong. Let you get away with it because you're the host. That's fine.
Yeah, on April Fool's Day, you might say, is when April Fool's pranks happen, correct?
Yes. You can look it up. It's true. So apparently Tinder thought it'd be real funny to post an April Fool's prank on March 20. And then they would...
Hilarious, guys.
And... I mean,
I want to say a full week earlier than that. Wasn't that news out for a couple days before we even recorded the episode?
Yeah, and people were like, "Oh, you got to talk about this. You guys got to talk about this in the show." And it was,
and in typical fashion, Kevin wrote it on the list, and I was like, "Oh, I saw something on Twitter about it, but I didn't read about it." And he was like, "Yeah, well, we'll just do it during the show because we don't do our homework."
Right. I mean, that's on us, I suppose.
Yeah.
But
And then it's like, "Oh no, it's a joke," and it's not even a funny joke because that's realistic, right? I could expect that to happen.
So to elaborate here, Tinder said they had a height verification system where you would have... you'd have to take a picture. I feel stupid saying it out loud because it sounds like obvious.
It is very obvious.
Yeah, they said you have to take a picture next to a verified building, and they would
verified building,
and they would somebody at the Tinder HQ would then verify your height on your profile, because I guess
which we always do this show like a couple drinks in and then hit record. And like,
actually, I was sober that time. That's the fucked up part.
Yeah, well, our guests weren't, and I'm pretty much on the train of like, yeah, whatever, fine, I'll believe it.
But the point here is you don't prank somebody on March 20. Like, what are you thinking? You made us look like idiots more than usual.
Well, I feel like you guys could have caught that one. It was pretty obvious.
That's only one of two stories that we talked about.
It ate up so much content.
Wait, did you guys get like really mad at it? Like,
I don't remember.
Yeah, we were
real quick. You could prank someone on March 20th, but it won't be an April Fool's Day prank. But it would just be a regular prank. So you're just like, at that point, you're a company losing the trust of the patrons.
That's my...
Exactly.
Yeah.
I got a problem with these corporate fucking April Fool's Day joke. Like, they're not funny, they're not good, they're not creative. It just feels like my dad telling a dad joke to me, and I'm like, yeah, I don't like you anymore because of it. You know how you talk to your dad?
Like your dad.
Yeah.
Kind of just like some bigwigs in an office. Oh, this will make them laugh.
Like they did a fucking peer-reviewed study on like what the best prank would be. And
I mean, to be honest, it is a good one, because
it is.
People do complain about that on Tinder and whatever.
Sure. I just think I think we need to burn down Tinder headquarters. I think that's the appropriate. It's called Tinder. What am I to believe?
Well, this has been a great episode. We can go and do that now. I'm fine.
All right. Well, I think Lars and I have to separate ourselves from this. No, I'm just kidding.
No, I'm all in on this. Let's go.
This is what you get yourself into.
Put your mouth where your money...
Pitchfork.
Domestic terrorism. That's
Put my mouth where my money is, like in my wallet.
Put your wallet in your mouth, sir. We want to hear it.
Put your wallet where your mouth is.
Put your mouth where your wallet is.
It's made of dead
on your ass. Where millennials like to eat things from.
True.
We're actually Carson told us we're boomers.
You okay, Joe?
Yeah, we're actually boomers, Lars and I. This is very difficult to talk about, but Lars and I, and you guys too. How old are you guys?
I'm 28.
I'm 27.
I'm 64.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
Lars and I are both late 20s/30.
What? You can't be both.
I'm 27.
You technically can, if you count wrong.
27.
I'm 27, but since we're older than 20, that makes us all boomers.
Guys, don't make us do math on the podcast. We're the guests. Just
he's right. That is unprofessional.
So that makes us old. Since we're older than 20, that's what. Call me Carson.
Well, it's nice. Joe. It's the 30-year-old boomer meme. It's not like the joke is that like 30-year-olds are now out of touch with what the kids are into with their Fortnites and their Apex Legends and stuff.
Everybody check out Boomer versus Zoomer, where this is sussed out to the tune of a couple dozen episodes.
And you call it
Or
quits.
instead they should listen to the first podcast because we're the guests.
And because you guys started the whole trend.
Yeah, you guys really, godfathers of the medium.
They're the goaties of, the Gotties of...
Oh!
I still can't say his fucking name right. I still read it wrong.
It's Gotti.
Goody.
He called in,
okay.
too. Gotti called in.
Oh, we'll get to that. But before we do, we got this 2 minutes of hate thing we got to get to, where we like to blanket punish things online that may irritate us. They may get under our skin. The things that you want to throw your fucking phone at the wall when you see it. So I'll begin here. This week, my 2 minutes of hate is on Facebook. People who studied at the School of Hard Knocks. Or really anything along those lines. Studied at stand-up comedian. Works at stand-up comedian.
Oh, like in the about page of your Facebook where it says...
you put like just like some bullshit like School of Hard Knocks, works at the streets.
Freelance artist.
Wait, I have a question
also
though, to clarify this.
Yeah.
What if they are a stand-up comedian specifically?
They always have a day job. That's a lie.
And it's the grammar of it. You don't work at stand-up comedian.
Right.
That's kind of like what they put. That's kind of just like a way of saying it. Like, oh, I'm a stand-up comedian. I should put works at stand-up because that's what I've seen other people do that.
Look how funny I am.
But
you think they're always trying to be funny though, or is that just kind of an awkward part of the?
It is awkward.
It's both. Yeah.
And it's like, why do you have to put that on there? You know, like.
I suppose. Yeah. I get where you're coming from.
Yeah. They want you to know that that's where they're working.
Oh, do you want to like really know how we're super boomers? Do you guys remember back in the day when every Facebook status had to start with is?
Yes.
Yeah.
That really dated us just now.
And you'd fuck around with like the grammatical sense of it.
Yeah.
And then you'd say stuff like Joe is like wants to go to Disneyland in parentheses.
Wants to go to Disneyland.
Ignore the is. You put ignore the is at the end.
Yeah.
I would never ignore the is. I would read it exactly how it was written.
So I guess to narrow this down to one thing, I would say it's Facebook grammar.
Or just the weird cutesy listing of like, religion, and it's some fucking like religion of the Fonz.
I will say, to give a shout out to a friend of the show, Aaron Klopfer, has the best on his Facebook, is works at John Wick, studied at John Wick 2.
To add to your 2 minutes, by the way, I have seen a lot of white girls that put studied at Hogwarts Academy.
I was just thinking of that. Oh my God.
Yeah. Guys, don't do that, please. Not you two. I'm talking to the audience.
Oh. And you two as well.
And you two. Please
I would never do that.
I would never dare. I don't like Harry Potter. I would say maybe something like I studied at the Leaf Village Ninja Academy. I can't even say that with a fucking straight face. Jesus Christ. My punishment for people who post like this or post their job listing on Facebook is
something stupid.
You got to talk dumb like this on LinkedIn, where people actually get jobs from.
Yeah,
you got to talk dumb.
Your profile
My
picture
LinkedIn says talk show host at talk show host. That's what my LinkedIn says.
That's what you got to do. Your profile picture on LinkedIn has to be a picture of you wearing a ninja headband.
Well, yeah, of course.
Show off your fun side. Of course. How else do you expect to get a job?
Well, at least they don't do height verification on there.
Thank God.
Yeah.
Not anymore.
I'd never get a job.
Not anymore.
Could be real.
Which one of you guys wants to start with 2 minutes of hate?
I will if Joe doesn't have anything prepared.
Yeah, you can go ahead.
Yeah, okay.
It's backhanded.
No, I'll go
Joe is just one of the memes on the show is that Joe is terrible on the spot. That's where that's coming from. If you tune in at t1podcast.com. Anyway, my 2 minutes. Does it have to be like 2 exact minutes? What's the deal?
No, it's bullshit.
Oh, Zwick's not going to be timing me? Okay.
No.
Okay.
He might be, but that's on him.
Secretly, he has like okay. For me, I would say, and this is kind of going on what we were talking about the last episode, it's people for whom
the bell tolls.
To paint the picture, there's a vast open field of content in the world right now. It's 2019. There is so much to watch. There's so many movies to consume. So many albums, and just all that stuff. And so, with that in mind, when someone says something like, "You haven't seen Inception," it's like not just that movie, but just like that in general. Like, oh my God, I can't believe you haven't seen that thing. And it's just like in a world where you have so much to consume. Of course, some people are going to watch random thing. Like, obviously, it's not that big of a deal.
No, I totally agree. I feel like I've stopped reacting that way to anything because, like you said, there's so much content to get to.
And people have different interests in things too, you know?
Yeah. It's not like in the 60s where it was like, we're all listening to the same Beatles song every week, you know?
Like if
that's because there were only 3 songs back then,
Right.
Yeah, if someone's like, you haven't listened to the White Album, it's like, yeah, because that's the only thing that everyone's listening to.
Mm-hmm. You don't even have a choice. That's just
also to add to that, there's a more wholesome thing you can do, by the way, when you like something and a friend of yours or someone just like on Twitter or whatever says, "Oh yeah, I haven't seen that." you can instead introduce them to it.
Yeah.
You can say, let's go have fun and let's watch this. You're in for a treat.
Yeah, instead of making people feel bad about things.
Exactly.
Yeah. Oh, it's like, you haven't seen the Goonies? You fucking moron. you dunce.
You idiot. Let's go watch this. It's going to be a lot of fun. Yeah.
And then we watch it and you're like, you're right. I was too stupid to enjoy the Goonies. Mm-hmm. This is clearly...
I'm so sorry, I didn't randomly get around to that media.
Over my head.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, okay. And that's exactly 2 minutes. So go ahead, Joe.
Oh,
nice.
So here's what I really would like to spend my 2 minutes with.
You have to punish these people too.
Okay. They need to be subjected to a tribunal in which everything they have not seen, like they go over it with them, like a list, and every time they haven't seen something, everyone in the courtroom has to point at them and laugh.
Beautiful.
Yeah, that's pretty great.
So, I'd really love to spend my 2 minutes of hate on people who think that situations are always awkward that really aren't. And it's just like their threshold for awkward situations is too low.
This is a brutal one, man. This hits way close to home.
It's like, oh, that's awkward that you would do that. It's awkward that I held the door open and maybe my arm was in the way. Like, that's just a part of life.
Exactly.
Yeah. What kind of sheltered childhood did you have to have where, this is awkward, I don't know what to do, just go around my arm or whatever? Like, I don't know. I'm sorry. I'm doing my best. You don't have to make me feel bad. You
should just scream that in their face. I'm trying my best.
Tears running.
I'm doing my best.
Yeah, I can see it. Can I add something to that, Joe? There's a book that I read.
Yeah, I guess.
Like how I asked and I just went ahead and did it anyway. Okay.
Yeah.
There's a book called, it's written by Chuck Klosterman. It's called Sex, Drugs, and Cocoa Puffs. I don't know if you've read it, Joe.
No, but I've heard of it.
You haven't read Sex, Drugs, and... Okay. All right. So in that book, I'm going to paraphrase it very heavily because, people should go read that book because it's great. But he talks about it in the first chapter where it's like, we've turned silence into this thing where it's like, it's supposed to be awkward now. When the truth is that when you're waking up and just eating your Cocoa Puffs, that's what that's for in the title. The truth is you may just not have anything to say, but we've made it weird where things are just so awkward so easily.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
There's also a culture of people need to comment on everything also. Exactly. And it's you can't just let things be. I remember when I used to work at Starbucks and I used to do really early morning shifts. My manager over there was a morning person. And I'd walk up to the door and I'd knock on the door and wait for him to come in. Nice. And and he'd laugh at how tired I was, open the door and be like, "You look tired." And I'm like, "Motherfucker, it's 4 a.m. What do you expect me to be happy to be at work making minimum wage, fucking taking bags of croissants and placing them on a fucking tray and boiling 5 gallons of coffee at 4 a.m? I don't want to be here. I hate this job. I hate my life. I don't fucking want to be here. I'm not going to smile just because you think it's fucking funny. Bitch.
Can I ask you a question? What was your least favorite thing that somebody would order where you're just like, oh God, this drink? If you have any pet peeves?
Man, some of those secret fucking menu items are when people made picky fucking decisions, and I could invent a fucking drink right now of let me get a grande latte in a venti cup with the extra room at the top, but can you put whipped cream on top? Can you make it extra hot? Can you steam the foam extra hot? Can you do 3 shots instead of 2? Can you make it half calf? So you take the 1 shot and you pour half of it out, and then you pour the other half of the half caffeinated shot in the cup. And then can you do 1/2 pump of sugar-free vanilla and then 1/2 pump of sugar-free caramel? And then can you add nutmeg on top? And it's what fucking...
The aristocrats, yeah.
Yeah, what fucking laboratory did you used to work in that that this isn't even an option? What the fuck?
Has it ever gone so far where it's gone the other way around now and you're like impressed that they've been talking for 5 minutes now and you're just laughing because of, it's too crazy? You just like,
the worst thing is when they would think that you would get something wrong and you knew that you didn't get it wrong because you paid so much attention to it. And they would be like, I don't, can you pour this out and pour me another one? And so you would make the same exact drink and they'd be like, oh, that's better. I can tell that you used non-fat milk instead of 2%. I can taste the difference in my mouth. Despite the 12 other things I told you to put in there, I can tell that there's a difference now. Fuck you, bitch.
I think that's the most emotion I've heard out of you so far, Grant. That was great.
Well, I keep drinking, and we did an episode of your show, and I kept drinking, and we're on this show, and it just...
I'm talking about coffee.
I'm in a lot of pain right now, so the drinking is really laying on heavily.
Oh, were we supposed to drink for this?
Oh, no, but you can if you want.
Oh, okay. Well, I started sober. I'll stay sober, but I think good knowledge to know.
Yeah.
For next time.
Absolutely. So what are we talking about?
I like how you just invited us back, like subtly, Joe. That was real smooth.
Oh, people do that all the time. Come back on whatever. Yeah. Mm-hmm. What's the subject here? What are we talking about?
We're talking about how coffee sends you into a blind rage.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I still have to punish them.
The fun part. Yeah.
So my punishment for the people who have too low of a threshold for awkward situations, they just have to endure like a 10-week class of mildly awkward situations so they can learn and they won't feel awkward anymore about regular life occurrences. Just attend the class.
And the class is a 10-week long class of silence.
Or alternatively, real quick, and like Lars, like feel free to afterwards, like if you're, but like, or they have to endure the most awkward situation, which would be like Steve Buscemi coming out of nowhere and raising them as their father.
Yeah, that would be really awkward.
Ugh.
Especially if they're an adult and it's like, I don't want you to raise me again.
Like, Steve Buscemi, what are you doing here?
Do you guys remember Awkward Turtle?
Yes.
I do, vaguely.
If you're a boomer, you'll know.
That was pretty awkward because I didn't know what to do when they showed me it.
Like, you could put your hands together and it's like Awkward Turtle and it looks like a turtle.
Yeah, and then how do you want me to react to that? That's the awkward part.
You go, haha, cool.
Lars, did you have an addendum to that punishment?
Yeah.
Shoot.
Yeah. Okay, so I think it'd be an interesting punishment for these people if, like, instead of mildly awkward stuff, they were subjected to, like, several weeks of actually awkward, like, objectively awkward situations where they feel really embarrassed about themselves and life so that they can get some fucking perspective.
Yes.
Like, you have to go out without a belt on and your pants just keep falling down over and over again.
Spaghetti just keeps falling out of your pockets.
Yeah, you have to walk around with pocketfuls of spaghetti. There's nothing you can do.
You washed your hands after using the restroom and it looks like you peed yourself a lot.
Yeah.
A lot.
It's like
that's awkward.
It's like shitty limbo.
You ever have to stand up in front of a class and give a presentation and you've got a boner?
Always.
That's awkward.
Yeah.
John Boner.
It's like, hey, I like having one, but I don't want everybody to see.
I feel like if I was John Boehner, I would have changed the spelling of my name.
Yeah.
My grandparents came here, Ellis Island. They, it's called erection now.
That reminds me of that one joke from Futurama where they're like, oh, yeah, we renamed Uranus because of that old joke, and they renamed it to Eurectum. Like, they completely missed the point. Yeah.
Grant, you had I'm assuming you have a 2 minutes of hate. I hope you've come here with one.
Come.
Yeah, I got one. I don't know. What's a good one?
There's a whole lot to choose from.
YouTube tutorial videos that use the Microsoft Sam voice. Have you guys seen these?
Yeah.
You're surfing around YouTube and you're like, I want to learn how to, like drill a hole in a fucking wall.
Yeah.
And it's like that fucking voice.
YouTube
of, like,
drill a hole.
How you drill a hole. Swah, 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 swah.
Yeah. Instead of it just like someone created this video, right? Like a person wrote text, added video footage, and then instead of them just using their voice, because like, who the fuck cares? Like, nobody's voice is good. You know, 3 people's voices are good, and they're all they're
all me.
They're all you. And instead of just using their normal person voice and speaking into a microphone, which everyone has on their computer, they use the shitty fucking Microsoft Sam voice. It's terrible. I can't listen to it.
How to tie a tie.
Yeah. How to tie a tie. First, you must take the tie and put it around your neck. And it's like, I can't fucking listen to this. This is garbage.
Yeah.
There is a related topic to that too, by the way, where it's like tutorials where the first 2 minutes and 40 seconds are them just being like, hey guys, what's up? It's
motherfucker.
Tech Cunt here again. We're going to be like and subscribe, and been doing a lot of projects lately, and blah 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 blah.
And it's like a half an hour long video, and you have to scroll to like 12 minutes into the video.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck.
I dislike that.
It makes you think that the Expert Village videos, which everyone made fun of, you know, like nearly a decade ago at this point, and memed very heavily, like are actually good in comparison. And I've seen some good advice on shit, but yeah, the whole, like, do that afterwards. Like, if I'm watching a video on how to fucking, what the difference between 2 different whiskeys are or some shit like that. I don't need
something on the table right now.
Yeah.
You couldn't think of something that wasn't on the table.
Yeah, no, I never can.
Well, I think some people, one of the reasons they do that is because what they're posting doesn't actually take that long to discuss, and they feel like, oh, I shouldn't put out a 16-second video. No, put out a 16-second video if that's how long it takes. That's fine.
Yeah, and put out hundreds of them.
Yeah.
I'll sit there and I'll watch all of them.
Yeah.
Learn something.
Yeah.
Yeah. You get more views that way too.
Yeah.
You catch more flies with honey than vinegar.
And speaking of honey,
what does that have to do with this situation?
mint.t1podcast.com.
We can't advertise our fucking sponsors.
Hey, real nice.
Hey, Mint Mobile, maybe you want to sponsor our show.
Yeah.
Mint Mobile, hit
You
us
can
up.
text my personal cell phone, 630. No,
Yeah, Joe, you can't say mint.t1podcast.com on their show. Come on, bud.
What about nor.t1podcast.com?
You can't say nor.t1podcast.com either. Come on.
We need to get these.
I'll allow it.
We need to get into these advertisements. We need some advertisements.
Yeah.
Make some money. Don't starve.
Yeah. Well, when I saw my hospital bill earlier today, I had $1,000 copay for going
you want
into
to tell
the
that story?
emergency room.
You ate some poo-poo this morning?
Yeah, I fell off my bike. I injured my finger, and I owe the hospital $1,000.
If you're listening to this episode after the other one, we apologize for the repeat.
I would recommend it's like a fine wine tasting. You listen to the first podcast episode, and then you listen to the Thought Cops episode.
Yeah.
But if you're learning this now, it's obviously too late. So fuck you.
And then you go back to the first podcast episode, and then you you browse for some more related episodes.
Yeah.
I kind of think
go to
of
the
like
Patreon and give them some money.
Go to the Patreon, like us on Instagram.
No, okay. So I feel like the first podcast is like the elegant wine that you drink in the beginning, and then like the Thought Cops is like the vodka that you break out at the end, where you're like, "Fuck it, I just am gonna get fucking drunk."
It's more like Malort, but yeah,
Malort and/or whiskey, depending on the day.
Have you guys had Malort before?
I have not.
Oh, you're missing out.
No,
you haven't had Mort, Lars. Oh, Malort. What was it?
Yeah, Malort.
Is it good?
Actually, I'm an expert on that. It's Chicago's bad tasting liquor.
Well, some could say. I like it.
Yeah.
Are you guys just mispronouncing Merlot?
No.
No. Based on my own knowledge already, Merlot is it's a variation of the Swedish liquor Brännvin.
Thank you for reading an article, Joe.
No, that was from my memory.
If you like wormwood,
yeah,
check
all
it
that
out.
it is. Fermented wormwood.
Check them out. Anyway.
Is that an item from like the Elder Scrolls or?
Yes.
Okay. And speaking of Elder Scrolls, Joe, they should go listen to the episode where we interviewed the creator of Elder Scrolls.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Vijay Lakshman.
Yeah,
that's cool, man.
Speaking of VJs,
ooh,
got a sentence this last this Microsoft Sam voice. if you're one of these people that creates a YouTube tutorial video and you use Microsoft Sam as the voice for the video, your personal voice in your real life gets replaced by that.
Yeah.
When you tell your children you love them, it sounds like that.
I love you.
Oh, you should add, you know how there's that glitch in Microsoft Sam where if you type soy over, or again, it can't pronounce it, so it just goes swah, swah, swah.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
You should add that to the punishment where you can't pronounce the word soy anymore.
That's because Microsoft, they should change it to Microsoft Chad.
Yeah.
In order to activate everybody's like
I thought it was
Siris
smart.
and stuff, do you ever just go like, "Hey Siri," then it's gonna.
I never talk to my Siri. She's a bitch.
No, but when that goes into post editing, everyone's Siri is gonna get activated.
Siri, Alexa, and Cortana.
By the way, Joe's ex-fiance her name is still this, but her name was Alexa, so it was really awkward on the recordings because like we couldn't use her name because it would trigger my Echo Dot. So I'm really glad that relationship didn't work out.
Just for your own personal convenience.
Yeah. One time Alexa and I went over to Lars's apartment and there was like a party that Lars was having and he had to unplug his Amazon Echo because every time we said Alexa, it was going to activate. And
it's really funny because like there's no way that they could have anticipated that when they named her that, but it's a really unfortunate name to have.
Yeah, that is tragic.
Yeah.
It's like if Lars became the Amazon Lars and it became synonymous with this thing and it's like, oh, my name got taken
I hope
away.
there's an Amazon Lars someday. That would be really cool.
You say that now, but
at least Siri is a name that like virtually nobody has. Alexa is actually, I mean, even I have a sister named Alexis, and that is enough to turn the fucking system on.
Oh, dude, one of our co-hosts also used to be named Alexis back in the day. Is. Yeah, and so that would trigger that as well because it's like kind of fuzzy how it can sense that. Yeah, that's all.
In my room, I have my own Siri devices, such as my phone and my watch. And my brother, who used to live here, left behind like his Apple Home, which when I say like, "Hey Siri," it also activates that. And so I'm also secretly paranoid that he has it set to record all the time, and I don't have any privacy.
that's fucked up.
I don't know. I don't think that's going on. But
Zwick, can you add some extra awkward silence in the middle of that face?
Oh, that was a silence for concern.
Speaking of extra awkward, if you haven't listened to Thought Cops before, every week we investigate the internet's outrage-inducing news stories and then sentence each perpetrator to a cruel and unusual punishment. Let's talk about, let's open up with Alien Comics, man.
Oh,
are you guys familiar with the Alien Comics?
oh yes,
Yes.
So are you guys familiar with the controversy that's surrounding?
Well, let's just explain Alien Comics for people who are smart and don't know what this is.
Yeah, for the unlearned amongst us,
the normies.
we've probably mentioned the Alien Comics at least on one or two episodes.
Yes, I know for sure we have.
It's this guy Nathan Pyle, I believe his name is.
Nathan Pyle is shit. Sorry, go ahead.
Nathan Pyle of shit is the guy's name. Real mean parents, or just real unfortunate Ellis Island naming accident. Either way, he created these comics where it's just these like anthropomorphic alien things that have this deconstructive take of reality where one of them's like a cat and they're looking at each other and one's like, it's vibrating. And like, that's it. That's the joke is the cat's purring, but it's vibrating.
Oh, I get it now.
Yeah, you get it. Do you understand?
It all makes sense. So, for example, if perhaps
they're called Strange Planet comics.
If the aliens were maybe celebrating a birthday and they were talking about blowing out the candles, they may say something like, I may extinguish these flames so that I may celebrate another cycle around the sun.
Kevin gets it.
I'm slowly getting this now. Dude, fuck these things.
There's one that's
I hate
he's
this
lighting
shit.
a candle and he goes, it's a primitive light source.
And the other one says, thank you. This is so stupid, dude. Anyway, let's just get to the controversy.
I drew a vital organ being wounded, and it's a heart with an arrow through it. And then he gives him flowers, and he says, "These are also dying."
I feel like it's funnier to describe than it is to actually witness, by the way.
Like, the first one was very funny. And
It's
then
kind of a one-trick pony kind of joke.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't know. I kind of like get this feeling like you ever like when you're a kid, it's like the last day of summer and like you kind of feel like crying. That's how I feel when I look at these. I just want to cry. You know, you got to go back to school and you just kind of, I don't know, you just kind of feel sad.
yeah.
And you just kind of want to cry like alone in your room. That's how
more than normal.
Yeah, that's how I feel when I look at these comics. I just want to like cry. Like, this is just so sad, dude. Like,
Okay.
it just reminds me of the joy that like
You once had, and
the
you
joy
no
that I
longer do.
never was able to have.
Yeah.
And the despair of your current life. And
And it's just, I mean, I will say that like the only thing is like I do value whatever intelligence I have because
yes.
I can see that these are terrible.
Or here's another good one. I just love reading these. This is great. Another good one.
Let's do role play. You be the one on the left. I'll be the one on the right.
All right. And these guys are signing a deal. They're making a deal and they're signing a document.
This is super relatable. Okay, go ahead.
I wrote my name illegibly.
Great.
Can we touch hands?
Yes.
Too tight?
No, I respect it.
Gonna bounce it once.
Feels appropriate.
It's just like real life, you guys.
And they're all one of those mildly awkward situations.
Yeah.
Exactly. They're just like profiting off that bullshit.
How awkward.
Yeah.
When do you guys let go of a handshake, by the way?
Never, dude.
I don't think about timing it. I just
You just do it.
I just do it when it feels natural. But anyway,
Guys, when you start a handshake, you're not supposed to stop it.
it's a sign of weakness, I heard.
All right,
exactly.
Donald Trump.
So anyway,
It's like a poke war on Facebook.
Oh, now we're really dating ourselves.
Yeah,
with that
right.
show.
We're really getting into that.
Kevin is feeling like getting poked.
Whoa.
You can isolate that one for later.
Remember when that meant like various sex things? Like, oh, he poked you.
Yeah. Well, now I guess it does now
with your
again
penis,
too.
yeah.
But for a brief period in time, it meant getting poked on Facebook. But anyway, so
Yeah,
this,
no, that's what that meant. Like,
Let's get to the fucking controversy.
A guy would poke
Now
you,
let's
and
talk
you'd
about
be
the
like,
side
"Oh, let
stuff
me
for a
delete
while.
that."
Come on.
So this guy, Nathan Pyle, thinks that if somebody pokes you and they come inside of you and then they inseminate you, that it should be illegal for you to abort the baby that you got poked by or poked with or poked from. You're not having sex with a baby is what I'm trying to say. You have sex and then you get a baby inside you, and it should
Kind
be...
of sounded like you were saying that. I'm glad you cleared that
Yeah,
up.
I just want to go on the
thank you.
record here and say, don't do that. But I will say that Nathan Pyle of shit, as I've aptly nicknamed him, that's my little play name for him. Nathan Pyle has said that he's pro-life. He says, the miracle of life is what makes his comics so funny.
Did he actually say that?
No, he said like his girlfriend or wife or something. He said he was sad that if she got aborted,
That's his logic on it?
yeah.
Oh, man.
Wait, did he make a claim at that point? Because I remember seeing it, and I think he just said like, "Oh yeah, it would have been sad if you were aborted because like I like the relationship,"
Yeah, pretty much.
which I don't think is that unreasonable.
It's not unreasonable, but that's a weird, like,
To say that,
justification of a stance.
He's then saying that it should be illegal for anybody to do it because he wishes that his girlfriend wasn't dead.
Did he actually say that he thinks it should be illegal?
I'm paraphrasing here, but I mean, I'm trying to imagine it like two aliens kind of talking. Like, okay, you gotta imagine this. Okay, two aliens are in bed. Alien goes, he's going bareback, and he's like, I forgot to
prevent the zygotes from entering into your zygote.
And then she's like, but it feels so good. And he says, should I stop entering zygotes inside of you? And she's like, no, it pleases me. and then it turns into loss. Okay, I think that's a punishment right there. Is the next Aliens comic is just lost.jpg?
Yeah.
That's the Control-Alt-Delete one, right?
Yeah. Done.
Yeah, and I care less, like in typical Thought Cops fashion, I care less about the actual guy's politics than I do just people dunking on him for how shitty his comics are.
It's sad that nobody felt brave enough to speak out about this besides us. Everybody's like, oh, by the way, since morals came into factor, also his comics are bad. It's like, no, they were always bad.
Nobody said it before, though.
Yeah, nobody besides brave people like us.
Yeah.
Who were shitting on something that people enjoyed because it was innocent.
Yeah.
Controversial opinion?
Yes.
I don't know. I think they're okay. I think the comics are okay. Like, they're mildly entertaining. I think that his politics, I personally could probably, like, if I liked them, I probably would keep reading the comics when I came across them, even if I disagree with him politically.
Right.
Yeah, if you're going to cancel everyone who's pro-life, you're going to have to cancel a lot of people. Like, that's a very common opinion.
Honestly, if his politics were good, I wouldn't care. Or his morals or whatever, I'd be like, separate the art from the artist, but the art sucks and the artist sucks. So I don't know. My opinion.
Entertaining.
There is a guy I was talking to about this, and he showed me.
What's his name?
I will not say.
Where does he work?
I will also not say.
What's his social security number?
666, and his name is Satan.
Oh, dude! Speaking of which, I'm sorry to jump in here real quick. But one time on one of our episodes, like, we just jokingly asked someone's their social security number, and they just rattled off like an actual social security. It was really weird.
Is it the creator of Elder Scrolls?
No. I think it was Aerospace, and like he rattled it off in a way that like
Steven Tyler, right?
He didn't rehearse it. Like, he just gave it to us, like, because he thought it would be funny.
Yeah, and then I was like, no, don't do that, and he's like, whatever.
So we had to bleep it. It was really funny.
Damn,
but
it's pretty good. It's a good bit.
Yeah.
You should give us the raw file of that episode. We'd love to hear it.
Yeah.
Warts and all.
Yeah, I'll send that to you in post. That's fine.
Great.
What am I talking about? Oh, yeah. There was this one guy who showed me in earnest these comics, and I was like, yeah, these comics aren't funny. And I showed him our Discord channel where we constantly make fun of the comments, and everyone was like, dude, that's low.
Yeah, you guys are sad.
But then afterwards, when this story came out, I was like, hey, did you hear that Alien Comics Man is anti-abortion?
Pyle of shit.
Alien Comics Man is anti-abortion, and the guy's super left-leaning, and he was like, oh, that's really disappointing. And like, he doesn't look at him anymore. He can't separate the art, which is like another extreme of like the weird fucking reality that we live in, where it's like the guy does stupid internet comics. I mean, come on. Jesus.
Well, yeah, he's not a politician that you're voting for.
Yeah, exactly. He's just a guy. Like, I don't care what he thinks in his personal life. Like, Jesus Christ.
Speaking of sex.
Yeah. Shoot.
Hey, sex. Now that I have your attention. Just a little joke I learned in The Simpsons. What's consent condoms? What the hell are these?
Have you guys seen these consent condoms?
Yes.
No, I don't think.
Oh, really?
I have, yeah. So basically, Joe, let me explain it for you. Okay, so there's this new commercial for this condom brand where basically you have to have 4 hands touching it in order to open the package, to press a bunch of buttons. And the surface level thing is like, oh, well, there needs to be consent. Like, both people have to agree to it. That's the basis of it. And there was a lot of controversy surrounding it.
Why couldn't somebody just use a different kind of condom?
Or not one at all. Like Grant does. No, I'm just kidding.
What?
I'm kidding.
Like regular guys.
How would you even know that?
I don't know. I watch you guys.
What? You guys? There's nobody else here.
He watches all 3.
Sometimes
he watches all 3 of us.
Yeah. Anyway, go on. I'm sorry.
Don't kink shame Kevin on the show, Grant.
Nobody else exists.
It's my thing. Whatever.
I'm all alone. Why would I use a condom for myself?
So you don't get a mess. Anyway, sorry.
Reasonable. Pragmatic.
Let's stay on topic.
Yeah, so you were explaining.
For once.
You were explaining the consent condom.
Oh, that's the end of the story, but the controversy goes from there, which you guys can explain.
Yeah, I'm reading about this now on Mashable.com. Mashable, get your news here on the fly. So people are complaining about this. They're saying one person says, if I scroll down here a little bit,
pick a good one.
Consent condom appears to have been created by people who know nothing about either consensual sex or sexual assault. Cool times in this true hellscape.
Meh. I mean, is it that big of a deal?
I want to see how this works. So, like, there's buttons you have to press?
Yeah.
It's like, you remember in cartoons, there was always, in order to make, like, the robot turn on, everyone had a key, and they all turned the key at the same time.
Yeah.
It's robotics at work, basically.
Yeah. You all get a key, and you
Voltron,
count down,
basically.
and you turn your key at the same time.
There is one piece of criticism which I think was, like, objectively true.
Yeah.
Which is that...
What if it's more than two people?
Yeah, interesting, yeah. But no, I was going to say it's putting a barrier up in front of people using condoms, potentially, which, like, you probably shouldn't do.
Yeah.
Like, giving someone another reason not to use them.
Yeah, that's good.
And that's
what if the person doesn't have hands?
Yeah, exactly.
One of the people don't
I also
have
saw
hands.
that. I guess I got that issue right now, technically. But
yeah, see,
I guess that's not probably most people.
It's close to home, doesn't
You're being super elitist right now, Grant. It's fucked up.
I guess so. I think so.
He's
Someone
not really
also
flexing.
says,
It's just like the way it
Flexing
is.
like, I have hands.
I'm kind of flexing, but it's just sort of the way that I'm holding my arm right now. Someone else says putting on a condom does not always automatically equal consent of all sexual activity, which is, like, fair. And, like, yeah, if you're gonna partake in non-consensual sex, for instance, like, why would someone even bother with a condom in the first place? Like, that's pretty, like, stupid if you think about it.
There's that.
It's pragmatic to use one, but yeah.
I'm thinking if it's like
I don't
in
need
the
to
case
defend
of
rapists
yeah.
here, but we can move on. That's fine.
Yeah. Let's none of us do that. But yeah. I think someone else said something along the lines of, like, I can't remember actually.
Oh, thank you.
Nothing but the utmost sensitivity. I can't remember.
Something smart.
Yeah.
I bet it was really great.
It was.
So how expensive are these, man? Like, I feel like...
Yeah, they gotta be kind of pricey.
Yeah, the button thing sounds complicated.
Yeah, you have to.
I think I'm overthinking the button thing. I'm imagining, like, it's like this electronic thing, and dry ice spills out, and then it's like you have your condom.
Have you seen
points for cool at that point? Though.
Have you seen Dude, Where's My Car?
No, I haven't seen it.
I'm right. There's, like, this Rubik's Cube they have to solve, and then at the end it turns into this complicated thing with, like, spinning lights and everything.
Well, like a Rube Goldberg machine.
Yeah, but I actually was in a motorcycle accident a few years ago, and my hand was in a cast for a few months, and I wouldn't have been able to do one of those condoms. No way.
So you were celibate?
Yes. Well, he usually is, but especially so at that point.
I'm an incel.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, I remembered. Someone else brought up a good point that was like, this is another excuse for, like, if someone does get sexually assaulted and someone goes, well, we use the condom, it's like an extra barrier to protect, like, possible rapists sort of thing, to be like, well, we consented because we use this, but then if something went too far or something along those lines, it's like weird extra evidence, like, to create that other abstraction to be like, well, I use the condom, so how could it not be consensual? Which I guess plays into all the stuff that we already talked about before.
Okay, having studied law to the extent that I have, which isn't a ton, but I mean, I have taken several classes on it. I don't think
can you elaborate
any judge
on
would
that?
buy that.
Wait, did you go to law school?
No, I just, like, I had to take several law classes for my major, and then I did some independent studying on it, and I don't
watched
think...
Nick Rekieta on YouTube.
Sure. I don't know who that is, but yes, I did watch that. Yeah, I don't think that would hold up in court. That's just, like, I'm not a lawyer, but I don't think that would pass the mustard.
Yeah. I mean, there's also the difference between court and the court of public opinion, though, which, we all are too familiar with the fact that, because
that's the show is the court of public opinion.
Because something's legal does not necessarily mean whether or not it's, correct or morally justified within the eyes of the public, or vice versa, so.
Or the eyes of the Lord.
Exactly.
Don't forget him.
Yeah, so nobody should be having sex anyways. I think that's the proper punishment.
Did you just compare the Lord to PewDiePie?
No, I didn't compare.
Both Nazis.
I said PewDiePie is the Lord.
Both Nazis.
Yeah.
I guess technically God's the Bible is true, that he's the world's most ruthless killer of all time.
God's I'm not a Nazi, I'm alt-right, okay?
Didn't PewDiePie put on a full KKK costume?
I think it was a Nazi costume. I don't know.
No, that was a Hard Times article, Joe. That's the Hipster Onion.
Oh, good. That's a relief.
So, do we move on to another story? We're over an hour, but we've had all these audio problems.
Nah.
Should we do another one, or should we move on to Key to the City?
It's Key to the City.
Okay.
All right. So, Key to the City. This is the segment where we each go around in a circle and give a do-gooder of the week a key to the city for having done good.
You done good, kid. I got one. Reggie Fils-Aimé.
Didn't we already have him as a key to the city?
No, I never got to talk about him.
Okay.
He's retiring from Nintendo this week.
Fils-Aimé.
And we wish him the best. Reggie,
rest in peace.
Reggie in peace.
I'm pouring this bottle of whiskey on the ground for you.
Do you want to know the official pronunciation, by the way?
Is it in Fils-Aimé?
It's, Fils-Aimé.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's French.
Yeah, and that's actually incorrect, but that's just the American way of saying it. It's like how we say Brett Favre, even though that's not the case at all.
It's Favre.
Yeah, it's supposed to be Favre.
Farvey. Farvey Weinstein.
Grant, what's your key to the city?
Healthcare.gov for allowing me to purchase healthcare at a reasonable price.
T1 podcast. Yeah.
That's your key to the city?
Oh, no. Can I? Oh, I actually have an answer.
Oh, it's too late. You already used it. No, go ahead.
You can talk.
Yeah.
You're allowed.
Oh, I can talk. Oh, thank you so much.
Well, since Grant's not talking, you can...
Lars, you shouldn't be sarcastic to these wonderful two people who've had us on their show.
They're going to like my answer. Okay.
I hope so.
Okay. I give my key to the city to Grant and Kevin from Thought Cops.
Hooray!
Okay.
Two delightful guests on our show, and for having us on.
Yay! We get a key to our own city.
Nobody's ever done that, so...
Nobody has.
And our punishment for you is that you have to cancel the podcast. Sorry.
Oh man.
Well...
He didn't say when, so...
Yeah.
We'll cancel it eventually. We don't know when, but we will. It'll happen one day.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know when.
Thank you. It's probably
stay
tomorrow,
tuned.
but it'll be... Yeah, just you'll have to find out.
And I guess my key to the city goes to Asterios Kokkinos, because he's putting on this wonderful comedy show and creating joy for so many people, and he's selling his own tickets in front of the theater.
No,
He's out
it's
there 8 hours a day.
A lot louder, dude. Joe.
And he's selling tickets to his own show outside the theater. He's out there every day.
It's hilarious.
12 hours a day.
Look at
selling
me.
tickets. Look at me. Ha ha ha.
It's not like
love
I'm
Asterios.
currently
He's a great
employed
guy.
and have anything else to do.
What a great dude.
Yeah, we love him.
Rest in peace, Asterios. I'm going to pour some whiskey on the ground for you.
I think you're mispronouncing his name, by the way, Grant.
Asterios.
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 I think it's Asterios.
Yeah, that's what I said.
This
Asterios.
week's, we got to think of a Thought Cops word of the week.
I don't care.
I have one.
Go ahead.
Yeah,
Yeah,
go
please.
Persnickety.
Okay. What the heck? What does that mean?
Oh, you didn't say I had to give a fucking definition, dude. What? I think Joe's going to Google one anyway.
Yeah, thank God.
Yes, persnickety.
That's the guy that drew the series of unfortunate events, right?
Exactly, yeah. John Persnickety.
Yeah.
Contemplates its fate to be more persnickety, but should have a wider range of emotions. Why can't I get a definition?
You can't use the definition of a word in a definition.
No.
You can't use the word in the definition of...
Persnickety, adjective. Informal, placing too much emphasis in trivial or minor details.
What about flibber to gibbet?
The word.
Okay.
Flibber to gibbet. It's basically an exclamation that doesn't mean anything in particular aside from whatever the context is at the time, as an exclamation. Like, flibber to gibbet?
That's a good way to describe our show, as an exclamation that doesn't really mean anything. I'd say that's accurate, Joe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, before we get to some voicemails, do you guys want to do your final plug where we can find you, where we can look up your podcast, blah, 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 blah?
You guys know where to find us. That's fine.
We do, but
yeah, me and Brand do. But
how about for the rest of the listeners?
No, they heard it on the episode. It's okay. We'll see. Well, you can check it out in the show notes.
Well, yeah, I'll drop that in thoughtcopspodcast.com.
Very trusting of our abilities to remember things.
Yeah.
All right, fine. Okay, t1podcast.com. Just go there. That's everything.
T1podcast.com.
Yeah.
All right, let's get to some voicemails.
Hey, Thought Cops. IoNetrunner here with the 2 minutes of hate. I got a light one for you this week. It's when an app signs you out but doesn't tell you in any way. So you just think like, oh, you're not getting notifications or whatever, and then you open it up and, your security cam has been kicking off, but Ye Video signed you out like 3 days ago or something, so you haven't gotten shit.
It's a popular video
it's really fucking
platform,
annoying.
dude.
Tinder did this too for me.
Never heard of it.
And I was on it for like a week, and it signed me out twice. And when it signs you out, it clears your profile. And it's like,
what?
I'm not putting that shit back in again for like a third time.
Oh, yeah.
Fuck you. Anyway, congrats on your win over Here's What I Don't Get. And keep doing the Lord's work. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
The Lord's work.
Super relatable.
Oh, yeah, that competition we won. Hell yeah.
Didn't that happen to you on Instagram the other day, Joe?
Well, it signed the podcast off of my list of managed accounts, and I had to get back into it.
That was weird.
Yeah, like somebody just removed it.
Get your shit together, Zuckerberger.
Bitch.
Best part of the episode. All right,
if you guys had a cold open, that would be a good one. But yeah.
Or if the episodes had titles. Episode 111, bitch.
Are we episode 111?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fucked up. Yeah.
Make a wish.
We'll invite you back on for episode 1111.
Yeah.
I was very optimistic about the future of your show. Yeah. Okay.
I said we'd cancel it. I didn't say when.
Yeah. Episode
cancel
11,
after
12.
the 1111th episode.
Yeah.
Maybe. All right, that'll
go
work.
out with a bang.
You keep fuckboy cops. You know who needs to fucking die? People park like fucking jackasses.
Jesus Christ.
Like, I mean, like when it's like city streets, and it's like, okay, there would be enough room for both of us to park if you could fucking parallel park.
These
right?
are
You
getting
have
worse.
Spread it so your dumb retarded ass can just go in without, making room for everyone else. It's called being considerate. Just, try it out, assholes.
Very endearing.
I mean, say no more, I guess. I mean, what else do you have? Like, I can't add to that. I mean...
Here, I got.
go ahead.
I left a voicemail in the 30 seconds that we were listening to that. I called in to the show and I left my own voicemail. You ready for it? Here,
I'm ready.
Listen.
Hey, fuck cops. You know what I hate is when you go to a restaurant and you go to the front of the restaurant and you go to grab a toothpick and there's no fucking toothpicks. Those fucking gay retards, they don't fucking refill the toothpick holder, and you go up and you don't have anything to pick your teeth with, and you fucking idiots, you fucking take the toothpick and shove it in your fucking eyes.
How do you like my voicemail?
That was her voicemail next week, so stay tuned.
That sounds like it wasn't a voice. It sounds like you just said that out loud, like just now.
No, I called.
Yeah, that was just hi-fi, high def.
Yeah.
Oh, I purposely made my voicemail sound like a phone call. Was I not supposed to do that?
I don't know. We'll find that out right now.
Hey there, it's Lars from the first podcast. Long-time fan, just wanted to leave a voicemail. I gotta tell you, when I first heard about this show, I really misunderstood the premise. I thought you guys were cops that were also prostitutes.
Oh, anyway, good one.
I have a question, and this question is for Joe. Joe,
oops.
When was the last time you cried?
It was today.
All right.
It was earlier today. All right.
Wow.
Why does everyone always ask me that?
That's something I try to get a lot of our guests to ask Joe that question on our show, so that's what that's from.
I wish I would have known that.
I wanted to bring that meme on over to your show.
It's a real human moment, too. There's nothing wrong with crying.
Somebody doesn't like a nice cathartic cry.
You see one of those alien comics and you just want to bawl your eyes into a pillow.
Summer's almost over and you just can't.
Back to school.
Yeah.
Liquid is coming from my face because I'm sad.
Oh, God damn it.
Here's a cloth to wipe it with.
This makes me feel better, but also the same.
End of comic.
I don't know. That's it. That's it.
There's like no punchline to those.
Yeah.
You are my friend because you handed me the cloth.
I think the lack of the punchline is going to lead to that having a very short shelf life if the pro-life stuff doesn't kill it.
I think the pro-life stuff has killed it. I think that's all it took.
Really? I think there's probably going to be a lot of people who just didn't hear about it because they're like low information people that just
say it. They're idiots.
Hey, you said it, man. I didn't say anything. I didn't want to insult your fan base. Dude.
They're idiots. They're morons.
The thing is, he's also a Reddit personality. Like, he posts all of his comics to Reddit.
Of course he does.
Every single Reddit personality always has some sort of a downfall where the public at large just no longer recognizes their validity in the public sphere. It happened to...
Wasn't there a scientist who had that problem?
Yeah, there was a scientist. I can't remember his name.
Yeah, me neither. What was his name?
He was... he did something where he was like... He had fake accounts or something like that, and they found him out, and like... You never heard from the guy again. Same thing with like Will Wheaton. Commented on stuff. Will Wheaton commented on stuff constantly. Now everybody fucking hates him because of the shit that he does, I guess, or whatever.
Whatever the hell that is.
Yeah, who cares?
Not me.
It's gonna bug me that... Oh, no, his name is Unidan.
Yeah.
What was weird about that is like he was manipulating his votes, but he was very popular on Reddit, so people already upvoted everything he said. Very bizarre way to lose the public trust.
Yeah. And the same thing with like, a lot of people, you see too much of them and you get sick of them. It's like what happened with Neil deGrasse Tyson. Yeah. Like he was huge, especially in the Reddit community. If he did an AMA, it was like a big fucking thing, and his stupid images were always voted to like the top of r/atheism. And then after a couple years, people were just like, "Fuck this guy, he sucks." Everyone hates him.
I fucking hate science now.
It's a shame because like I feel like he wasn't that bad. Just people really oversaturated the market with him.
He's kind of smug and irritating, but like, it's
he's
an
also
oversaturation.
like really smart, so you kind of earned that,
right?
To some degree, like I don't know.
Yeah, no, I get you.
Oversaturation's a bitch.
And he's also like a science nerd, so it's like, yeah, of course he has like poor social skills and, does smarmy fucking tweets and shit like that.
Hey, speaking of poor social skills, we got one last voicemail here.
All right, let's play that.
From Joe.
Shit.
Hello, it's me, Joe. Just calling. I thought we were going to do
Sounds familiar.
Show today, but I wasn't really sure because I got a voicemail from you guys that said that it was off, but then that might have been a joke.
You're on the show now.
Lars is calling me right now.
Guess
I'll call you back.
Oops.
Joe, I'll leave that to you. Any feedback looking back on that voicemail?
Are you happy with the choices you made?
Joe?
No. I think that voicemail was punctuated very well. There was a good cadence, especially at the beginning. And I think that while the content was lacking, there was everything else was there. The delivery was...
Let me save you, okay? I'll give you this, okay? It was the best voicemail you've ever sent them.
That's true.
Thank you.
And if I may add, he didn't use Microsoft Sam, which is pretty cool.
Thank you so much.
He used his real voice.
He didn't say like, "Oh, hey, I'm Joe." Swah, swah, swah. Yeah, exactly.
Anyway, swah, swah, swah. That is the show.
As they say in France.
Swah, swah, swah.
Swah
in
face.
France, they say swah, swah, swah.
Yeah.
Thanks everybody for listening. Thanks guys for coming on the show.
Thank you, Microsoft Sam, for everything you've done.
Fuck you, Grant.
And you can support the show at patreon.com/thoughtcops.
T1 podcast.
And and also there, we'll be taking every bit of revenue they have.
Ooh.
They don't know it yet. But also tune in next week. We got I won't spoil it. We got something a little different. And no, it's not a WKUK episode. It's something completely new. So stay tuned.
Oh, I'll spoil it.
Go ahead.
Okay. It's